Attention gamers. League of Legends is basically one never-ending roller coaster ride with ups and almost exclusively downs dominated by one particular emotion, hate. Hatred for teammates that you just met, hatred toward everyone who mains any one of these champs, hatred for the balanced team at Riot for not finding a way to make us suck less at their game. It's no secret that the League community is full of hate, and that's why today we are talking about love, as in the champions who according to lore are banging each other off camera to see which couple makes Homicide look the sexiest and prove that the power of love can overcome this tilting titfest of hate. So in the first installment of Legends Who Love, we have the Birds versus the Bombas, as in the couple whose nickname still seems to make me a bigoted racist. But couples who slay together stay together, and the synergies between the champions having sex in this game are undeniable, like when Mrs. Obama wraps the zombie hands around things so her husband can unload his panned-up aggression onto some floating deaf harpist, or how these birds are just so in sync that they go everywhere together. At least when you aren't a total moron. So in today's video we will find out who the best power couple of the bot lane is because, hey little lady, have you heard of the Rady Shady? The MMORPG PvP completely free phone/PC game you can play with me. Oh, Rav won't know if I just skip all his raid ads? Rav knows everything. So for the loyal ones who watch all of my content, here's a reveal of my foot. And here's my face while Okay, so raid is basically like going to Lord Farquaad's dope city from Shrek, picking from 500 champs to collect from, pimping each one out with different artifacts or builds, aka trillions of ways to be different in this game. Or you can be like me and cling to the first champion you get because her spin to win arrow barrage just makes me warm inside. And now you can tell Mr. RNG to meet Dr. GTFO with the new champion fragments by selecting what champs you want to collect, or take those shiny tag team arena gold boys to the bazaar to cop some dope items. You can literally progress in the game just by logging in once a day when you are sitting to take a piss by claiming your daily login reward. So join the Igloo crew on raid by using the link in the description, and you will be given free coins, gems, energy keys, shards, boosts, as well as the executioner who will carry any hardstuck through the early stages of the game. Raid Rav out. Okay, for all the mommy nipple lickers and the audience lubing up their keyboard to post that timestamp of when my ad is over so that you can earn some fictitious medal for your trophy shelf full of nothing but participation awards, here is your chance to shine. For the rest of you, slap the upward thumb button and let's get into it. Alright, you know what they say, the early bird gets the worm, and there were two of them with this comp, so the kids with the quill capes were up first, and this one started off with my MIA ping needing its own MIA ping. If you are picking up what I'm putting down, which actually isn't funny because it resulted in that rusty walking school bus getting a kill early, but it's never too late to remedy the situation by playing some peeping Tom peekaboo. Feather Heather here to say sup girl, but she is clearly a pro at social distancing at this point, which leaves this bird with a case of the blue balls. So I finally decide to plume punch the tin twat with the giant ass swinging arm walk right in front of me instead, which too seems to be resulting in another failed homicide. But just when I am about to let bygones be bygones, the bygone gives me a warm handshake and welcomes me back to sprinkle some feathers on the ground before promptly requesting them back to earn me a nice bonus paycheck. Then our mid lane 4 whore is spam alerting us that some rabid Yeti rider is lurking in our bushes, so we honor Jin's request by sending precisely 4 people in for the surprise. But some red meat in Dragon Pit has attracted everyone and their uncle to the party, so I run in to flame our jungler to his face for losing the smite battle, only to get distracted by some walking school bus with swollen hands, so I ensure that the rolling golem gathers no kills before shifting my attention over to the coked up redhead trying to interrupt Jin's triangle death simulator. So we chase to send the albino back to base, and I get my foot caught in some little chompies as the power of red buff from my teammate named Fart Sniffer saves the day. Then my stud muffin sex goat of a husband is about to catch a cab back to the shop, so I let him twirl me around before failing to realize how this dumb interaction works. But not properly carpooling together doesn't mean shit about your relationship when you can just lube your man up and send him running over to rub his goat balls all over their starving gun girl, which sets up a prompt quill banging to cop me the fat G, and force Mr. Metal McCree to flash puss out and flee. We bring Big Bladed Kitty back to lane with us, which prompts these feeding butt nuggets to path into the cove that Riot literally only added to the game as a trap for scrubs to screw themselves over, and so Miss Minigun becomes catnip first, and then Mr. Tomness mobilizes the trampoline under the walking septic tank as some 19th century PC comes roaming in to freeze fart us, but it falls shy and we wave him goodbye. Then we play 2 quick rounds of feather fuck the sitting duck under tower, and our first contestant is the anorexic Adderall addict, but she doesn't last too long, so we call in contestant number 2, who many call the bronze bus, some call him the battle bot, the pull daddy, the bop shocker, but we just call him dead, and Rift Alexa calls me unstoppable. Now since birds of a feather flock together, I grab my goat dick of a husband and we run mid to throw some feathers at the blue cartographer, which forces his flash, and I shoot a cue at yesterday before playing the part of Beatty Bird as Fart Sniffer zooms out and sticks a long boy in his bald ass head. The Beast from Beauty and the Beast is in the area, so we orchestrate some risky business and my man puts on his usual charm, but the kitty delays to pick a wedgie in the bush and I whip a proper quill magnet, which slightly complicates our master play, but thanks to a feather here and a flash there, we acquire kill numero uno as I try to use my tiny ween amount of Doran's blade lifesteal before Mr. Long-Armed Tin Tits plucks me, but lucky he suffers from a chronic disease known as stupidity and dies without getting anything in return. And it turns out that disease is contagious, and I caught it bad when I fail for a second time to perform something that a small animal can probably be trained to do, which prompts confusion on my end and a very complex investigation of where I went wrong, which came down to me not pressing my back key. But hey, at least we were more coordinated than these morons. Hashtag best blitzcrank nah better. Hashtag Rift Alexa calls fart sniffers godlike. Back at bot, and I have let both my wards out in the wild to play for the first time in my life, and this reveals that midget riding her vending machine, so I send my scrubby hubby in first to fend that hoe off, but right when I think we are safe I receive a surprise firm handshake from over the wall, which was quite a careless move considering viruses are going around, so I call in fart sniffers to steal my kill. Then we all gather inside a bit yelping Yeti's ult to show him that he can charge it all he wants, but buffed AP ratios only work when you actually have AP, so we live and he does not. Fast forward and he is back rolling some giant digital doucheball at me, but the thing gets away from him as I take flight to avoid his stun, but the dude is like determined to tap me from behind, so I finally land a quill cuck, which prompts him to flash and load up his fleeing Felicia program, but right when I am about to give up and wave bye Felicia, Mr. Waternoose in his freaking pajamas lands an intestine lasso on the bot from downtown Disney World and pulls him into his cuck compactor. But this is silver after all, so we use our Baron buff wisely by picking a fight in their jungle with no objective in the area, because why not, as our jungler would rather ping that he got world first max level than help his team fight, as I hang out in the back getting my feather shed on while casually watching a 1-7 Darius rip my team a new asshole just like any other day on the Rift, but I eventually convince him to piss off before using my ult 30 seconds after it would have actually been useful, and we go our separate ways. One last fight breaks out where Nunu charges up the biggest frozen fart he can muster, but it fails to get the job done before he sees me and calls the boys over to ruin my day, but I go full fizzy feather heather status as Blitz asks to see Jin jump one last time as his final wish, and we turn the fight. Then Fart Sniffer deploys the Triangle of Terror and we ask the beast how many kills he needs to distract him from thinking about that Bell Ho and her undying rose, to which he says 4, which is music to Jin's ears, and so he takes the quadra. We take the W. I take the top spot on the meters, and my goat douche supportive sex slave of a husband is going to let me take my dirty little feathers and So now it's time to move on to our next couple, but first, on the topic of relationships, I would like to address one of mine, with none other than Professor Akali. And while for now I will be keeping our background a mystery, after reading comments on both my channel and his, I would like to clear a few things up. Is Kevin here the king of clickbait? Yes. Do I want to shave his eyebrows and hold them hostage demanding he gives me some of the views for new champions, like how I slaved for days over my damn British Scottish Bambi guide only for his full gameplay to rank 6 galaxies ahead of mine? Yes. Should you take my jokes about him paying people to feed him seriously and flame him on his channel and stream for being an insincere person? No. And so please don't misinterpret my flame toward anyone as true hate or anything but lighthearted banter and me releasing my aggression over the YouTube algorithm, as that's all it's intended. And to you Kevin, when Samira comes out and I see your video getting all the views because she is apparently most busted broken shit riot ever released, I will be coming for you, with my shaver. Okay, back to the action, and it's the Obama's turn, but I have to say the first attempt at this didn't quite go as planned. It all started when my babe got an early shaft and it wasn't Rav Daddy's, which led to a double date in the bot lane that I would describe as non-consensual, and despite trying to be the strong man in the relationship who doesn't show fear or worry, the other team was determined to answer the question that Lucian always asks:
how do you kill what's already dead?
By turning our assholes inside out and hanging them to dry. So yeah, the Democrats lost this election, and by unanimous decision, our collective 0-18 performance was not a worthy contender for this installment of Legends Who Love. But you know how the famous saying goes, the strongest couples are the ones who have endured a heavy repetitive dick slapping by a girl with wings and some walking rose bush. So we queued up another, and this one started off a little better when I signaled to my babe to go in so I could hit them with the Get Cut from Cove special, but her ankle grabblers got delivered to the wrong address. But we chased anyway, and I hit Plasma Patty with the 1-2 Mayweather and the 3-4 McGregor chunk that flailing ghost, so I hit a Starboy flash into pistol pop combo to nab the kill. Then we are all alone with some soothing harpist getting me in the mood, so I ask my wife to do that thing with the zombie hands that I like, so I dash in to unload a quick clip, and then I do some peacocking to show off my masculine strength to my girl. And I know real men don't kiss and tell, but the last time I had the lane alone with my babe and a hired musician, I got both paid and laid, so like a true horndog Obama, I set the scene once again as my babe starts things off with some gentle undead arms grabbing the musician's ankles and me saying you can't spell 69 without the 6 extra bullets. Riot just gave this ult. But then I notice our family pet, the upright death fetish goat that we let roam in the woods, is being harassed by some violent wheat farmer, so I run in to handle the situation. But sometimes my wife just doesn't know when to let her man be the fucking man and takes care of my business for me.
Bruv, I don't want to hear it. That snipe was clean.
Anyways, clearly she was getting tired of the same routine in bot, so we took another day trip up north to go floaty crab claw fishing in the local river, because I know she likes the spontaneity, and don't worry, I showed her a few of my flashy moves as well. But apparently me being 4-1 with a respectable amount of farm for the first time in my entire career wasn't enough to prevent an attempted pussy boy give up festival. But then I realized I had a Yasuo and he was 1-5. Big surprise there, and a quick look up to the top lane didn't make me feel much better either, so I got my wife and told her to distract me from the evil reality that Yasuo mains exist in this world. So she did the zombie hands thing that I liked again, and we murdered the third hired harpist of the game. A few minutes later, I am just working hard to make an honest living for my family by murdering little hooded midgets when the lights go out in river, and I panic because my girl was just over there, so I desperately rush in to pop a few caps into her attacker, but that alien bitch murders her, so I grief for a second as Pokey Smokes goes full blown Jesus Christ, and then I demand he gives me answers about who hired the hit. But I am still distraught from seeing my wife murdered in front of me, so I decide to get my revenge by knocking down one of their statues and dashing in to give that flailing papier-mâché slut a beating, as my windshitter contributes to the ordeal by doing nothing but wind-walling my ult. But bam, my wife, fresh out of the hospital, still has my back, and that is how to proc a Barack boner, ladies. Then I run mid because the wingding plasma prick that slayed my sunshine is all alone, but of course when I get close enough to see her face, the nightmares of that tragic day come back, and all I remember after that was waking up to both of my summoners being gone and the body of some dead smoky hoe on the floor. Now this next scene will haunt me for the rest of my life. It all started with us trying to jerk off this giant erect worm ween in river, because covering yourself in his jizz apparently amps up your hooded midget employees, and my wife is off doing God's work peeling this wheat farmer off us like a damn banana, so I join in and start to help, but I break the #1 rule of marriage: never chase a wall hacking reaper through the jungle while your wife gets claw cucked by some terrifying levitating horseshoe. And despite taking down box with me, I earn myself 55 seconds in the penalty box to think about my actions. And that helps me come to the decision that it's a dangerous world out there, so I buy a GA immediately. Flawless plan, I know, until I use my only mobility to do a little wall parkour for no reason, which leaves me defenseless in the middle of a group orgy when the lights go out. So yeah, GA may give you 2 lives, but it doesn't make you any less of a dumbass. So I spawn again and come back to forest to gain one final clip of content for my vlog called A Day in the Life of a Mispositioned ADC, which results in nightmares, crab claws, a cosmic wheat farmer crawling inside of my asshole, me dying, us losing, me considering tweeting about ADCs being weak despite my undeniable incompetence, only to pick up my phone and immediately get distracted by some kid playing the theme song of Harry Potter from sounds the buttons on his washing machine makes on TikTok. So now I ask you, the Lovebirds or the Obamas, who won round 1 and which couples should compete in the next installment of Legends Who Love? Huge shout out to my sugar mommies and daddies on Patreon. Your support means the world to me, and I am introducing new donation rewards such as featuring your messages at the end of videos and potentially reacting to one of your clips at the end of videos as well. Pet your dog, jerk your ween, use my raid ad in the description so they keep sponsoring me, and brush your teeth tonight. Rav out.